Hey guys, what's going on? It's a week after the monk mode mission of all the calisthenics, and um, so yeah, just gonna give a quick talk about how that all went down. We'll see if I can do the like before and after, kind of cut a picture or something. You know, it's pretty funny. You'll see on YouTube and stuff these before and afters where the guy looks super skinny, and then it's like 200 push-ups a day for a month, and then the next scene is like him steroided out. It doesn't happen that way. For example, I've done my 15,000 push-ups and a bunch of sit-ups and all that kind of thing, and I'm not super more toned or jacked or anything. So here's what, just kind of my normal frame's looking like. Not flexing or anything. The one thing I notice is that I have just kind of naturally a bit more tricep kind of tone going on. When I flex, kind of like the push-up motion, I see a lot more kind of muscles in the deltoid there, a lot more kind of definition in the mid to back, and then also getting a pretty decent like horseshoe in the tricep going on. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of a realistic physique of what happens after 10 to 15,000 push-ups. You're not going to get super jacked or anything. And then I hadn't done push-ups in a week basically, and I did a set this morning, a set of 50. And it was just pretty fun because it was like so effortless. Or, I'm just going, I'm like, oh whoa, 40, 41, 42, and then just kind of laughing myself about how I was doing like 500-ish a day, and so of course 50 would be easy. So anyway, let's talk about some other stuff. I still feel like I'm perhaps slightly overtrained in that I still have a little bit of fatigue going on. This morning I just did some super light powerlifting just to get, not even necessarily break any muscle down, just try to stimulate a little bit of growth and like hopefully speed up some sort of recovery process. I'll probably maybe take 1 or 2 more days off before I hit it big. Let's see. One thing I've really noticed is kind of falling back into, I guess, like slothful habits, taking warm showers, letting the meditation slip and all those kind of things. And it kind of like weighs on your soul, not necessarily to talk in like a religious context or anything, but it's like when I was in the middle of this and going hard, it was like I felt my body kind of broke down, and my mind was kind of tired, like I talked about in those videos where I couldn't necessarily think of the right words, but it was like, I was gonna say dull but sharp, maybe like hazy but sharp or something, if that makes at all any sense, where you're kind of viewing everything through a fog, but what you can through that fog is like a sharp instrument. And then it's like now the fog's kind of gone away, so to say, but it's like I don't feel as sharp. I don't feel like I have that edge. I've always been super critical of myself, so there might be a little bit of that going on, but it's just really crazy because I started sleeping in like a bed again, warm showers, and like I said, no running, no meditation, all those kind of things. And it just feels like I feel like I lost something vital, or an edge. Not to say that it can't be recovered, because I just start doing that stuff again. But it's like the human condition, I think, really requires us to kind of live on this edge of maybe discomfort and pushing ourselves. Because even back in college and stuff, I think about how like I had a super routine: go to class, immediately go to the gym, eat a bunch of food, and then it was kind of like I would occasionally take cold showers and stuff, but for the most part it was kind of like a soft life, in that it was never really pushed to the limits. And I look back on that and I think about some of this, this monk mode thing I just went on, and then some of the other ones I've taken on in the past. And it's like when you're in despair is a powerful word, and it's a bit too powerful, but when you're in like despair, so to say, of like really pushing your body to the limits, you start seeing kind of like this deep-seated awareness and kind of this cool and calm, collected mentality that you're really surprised you possess. I think you never really hit that until you're really pushing it to the limits. You know, just a standard, standard what 90% of people do if they work out at all, work out, eat nice, warm shower, sleep, day. That's not really pushing your body. I mean, not to say that like, you can't get stronger that way, because I certainly have. But it doesn't give you that kind of, that mental edge of like simulating your body kind of like in a pseudo survival situation. And coming off of this, I definitely see that's kind of what it was like. And it was pretty cool, there's kind of this softness I've let myself get back into. I see it's not for me. Maybe I don't know, I kind of hesitate to say maybe it's not for some people, because I think a lot of people just give themselves excuses. But definitely for me anyway, it's like I just function better when there's kind of like a tension to me, where there's this kind of, I need a bit more rest, I need to push myself a bit harder. There's a, sexual tension, all these sorts of things, because it's like a rubber band's only useful when it is capable of holding tension. And if we just release our tension all the time, what kind of use are we? It's like we lose our edge, and that's kind of what it means to be human, is the ability to prevail while circumstances may not be in our favor, and just continuing with this edge, this tension to us. And if you've ever felt the edge, you know what I'm talking about. It's not, there's definitely a difference between that and like anxiety and neediness, which I've had before too. I've mentioned this some in my past videos of being overly needy and overly anxious, and that's kind of a way different feeling. We're like this edge, just kind of like you're aware of the sounds around you. You realize what sort of power your body's capable of. I can run, I can keep running, I can fight, I can jump, I can do this and that. And same with even like, approaching girls and that kind of thing, where it's like when you don't have tension, it's really easy to just be like, I don't need to talk to her, and dismiss her and this and that. And not to say that girls are at all like a priority of life, but that's just a really easy metaphor and kind of example to use, is that like when you have a bit of this tension, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go over there and talk to her and see what's up. Or even if you don't talk to her, you can also use the tension for like, F her, I'm not gonna go talk to her. Like I'm too busy doing my squats in the gym, or I'm too busy doing my sprints. And that's a cool tension too. You just got to get to that tension and make it work however you want, however it works. So let's see some other things. So I've been doing a lot of writing lately. I don't know if I made any allusions to the fact that aspiring author. One thing I noticed was my creativity was pretty high during the monk mode thing, where it's like I had this constant tension that was just plaguing my mind. But when I would just sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna write for 2 to 3 hours, it would just come. I'd be like, I can't think anything, and I just start going, and then 2 or 3 hours later, I'm like, whoa, that was a pretty good part I put together. So for me anyway, you need to be careful that just because your brain feels foggy or tensioned out or anything like that doesn't mean it's not still capable of functioning. So let's see, anything else so this is crazy too. Since I stopped, doing all this exercise, I started getting a lot of low back pain. Well, not a lot, but it returned, and I'd had low back pain before, just from sitting and that kind of thing. And it was just crazy that how much I was beating my body down, that I wasn't having back pain, from actually being up and moving and, doing all my sorts of, glute exercises. And So it's just crazy that within a couple of days of, resting, the back pain started returning, probably because I was sitting too much. I wasn't engaging my glutes enough. I wasn't stretching, I wasn't running. So it's kind of like, that was like another kind of proof for me from the experiment I did, that like, for my body anyway, and I'd like to apply it as a generality, that motion, even more so than you would think, is good for you. Because I mean, here I was doing 500 push-ups a day, tons of rows and tons of planks, and running and doing my squats and all this and that, and my muscles were kind of sore. Some of my joints were kind of aching because I was clearly going too hard, but overall my body felt good. I didn't have this kind of plaguing lower back pain that so many people have from sitting all day. So that was a pretty important lesson to me, of just how important it is to keep active, because just a few days of kind of pure inactivity started rendering my back hurting again. So anyway, guys, yeah, that was the monk mission. And if you got any comments or questions, or you want any sort of inspiration, or take on some new missions or something, let me know, and I'll have keep cranking some more videos about girls and life and all that sort of thing. So hopefully you guys thought this was interesting, and keep it real out there. And oh yeah, so again, just real fast, that's like a real physique right there of 15,000 push-ups, none of this steroided out. So yeah, sometimes reality may not be as cool as the photoshopped and edited out videos we'd like to see. Alright guys, keep it real out there. See ya.